Sometimes we confuse self-awareness with simply overthinking. We mistake the endless observation of our thoughts, our reactions, and our social behavior as some higher form of consciousness. But it's often just the ego, cleverly disguised. Real self-awareness isn't about labeling everything you feel. It's not about narrating every move you make or endlessly analyzing what it means. That's not presence. That's just your mind spinning in circles and calling it insight. The deeper truth is this: the more we try to hold on to self-awareness as an idea, the more it slips into performance. You start monitoring yourself like you're constantly on stage. Every move, every word, every facial expression becomes a performance that you're critiquing in real time. You think you're observing, but you're actually feeding your identity with even more subtle layers of control. And this kind of hyper-awareness doesn't bring peace. It creates exhaustion. You become so consumed by being aware that you can't even be there anymore. It's like trying to watch yourself sleep. You can't do it. And the moment you try, the very act of trying destroys the experience. This is the trap. You become a prisoner in your own mental maze, thinking that more observation will free you, when in reality, it's your obsession with control that keeps you stuck. And what's worse, society praises this. You're seen as deep, introspective, enlightened. But nobody sees the burnout beneath it, the constant tension, the sense that no matter how much you analyze, you're still not seeing clearly. That's because true clarity doesn't come from observing every corner of the mind. It comes from not needing to. It comes when you stop being obsessed with watching your thoughts and start simply letting them pass like clouds. Not identifying with them, not analyzing them, not resisting them, just allowing. Being self-aware isn't about being hyper-vigilant. It's about becoming so still within that awareness arises naturally. Not as a thought, not as a reaction, but as your baseline state of being. Until then, what many call self-awareness is just the ego wearing a spiritual mask. Now let's take this further, because this rabbit hole goes deeper. What if your self-awareness is just a loop? See, there's a version of awareness that isn't really awareness at all. It's just mental noise disguised as clarity. The mind watches itself and says, "Look at me, I'm aware." And that voice becomes the new identity. It feels smarter, more conscious, more evolved. But it's still just you talking to yourself. This is where it gets tricky. You might feel more mature, more grounded, more in control. But if you listen closely, it's still control. It's still you trying to shape who you are, still resisting what's actually here. You're not free, you're trapped in a cleaner, shinier prison. And here's the catch. The more aware you become in this fake way, the more isolated you start to feel. You see through people's illusions. You spot emotional manipulation, social games, hidden motives. And it feels like a curse. Like you've outgrown everyone, but at the same time, you've lost something real. You're disconnected. But instead of healing, you go even deeper into your mind, hoping more analysis will fix the separation. It won't. This is what being too self-aware actually looks like. It's not spiritual depth. It's mental exhaustion. It's not expansion. It's internal surveillance. The truth is, genuine awareness has no narrative. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't feel special. It doesn't need to be seen or measured. It's quiet, effortless. And it doesn't belong to the mind. It's what watches the mind. So if you're caught in the loop of I'm aware that I'm aware, and I'm aware of that awareness, stop. Let go. Awareness doesn't need commentary. It just is. You might think you're watching your thoughts from a distance, that you're the one observing the chaos without being part of it. And for a while, that belief helps. It gives you space. It's like stepping back from the noise and finally hearing your own mind speak. But here's the truth most people never realize. Even the observer you believe yourself to be is just another thought. The voice saying, "I'm watching," is still part of the system it's claiming to observe. It's still thought. it's still mind. Just dressed in a new outfit, one that sounds wiser, more peaceful, maybe even spiritual. But it's a loop, a clever loop. And for those of you who might feel confused hearing that, like wait, if even the observer is a thought, then what am I? What's left? Here's the thing. This confusion comes from trying to mentally grasp what can only be experienced. The mind tries to grab onto something solid, but this isn't about adding a new concept to your shelf of ideas. It's about seeing that the shelf, the books, and the one reading them are all in the mind. The observer feels real because it gives structure to your experience. It feels like a stable center. But look deeper. Is it truly there? Or is it just the latest thought floating by, saying, I'm observing? When you become quiet, not by force but by dropping the need to figure it out, something strange happens. The whole structure starts to dissolve. The thinker fades, the observer fades, and what's left isn't confusion. It's stillness, not a dead kind of stillness. A living, breathing presence that doesn't observe life from the outside. It is life. So no, this doesn't mean you are your thoughts. That's not what's being said here. What's being said is, you're not even the one who thinks they're separate from thoughts. And when you see this, not just think about it, but see it, you realize you don't need to try so hard to be self-aware. Life was always happening with or without your mental commentary. It doesn't need an inner narrator to prove it's real. This doesn't mean you stop caring or become empty. It means you start living without being tangled in your own analysis of everything. You don't lose awareness. You drop the false center that was trying to hold it. And that's where the freedom begins.